Hello, I am Jacob. I'm the host of the show. Thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and just being a part of what we do here. After a crazy divisional round, we're moving into the conference championship. But let's first begin with news that broke on Sunday morning, as Sean Payton has yet to commit to being the Saints head coach in 2022. Now, there's only a few ways this goes. Either the Saints go and say, you're staying here no matter what, and that's the end of that, because he still has a 3-year left on his contract, or they could trade him, which has not happened, I believe, since Herman Edwards, and before that, John Gruden, when John Gruden went to Tampa Bay in 2002, or he could retire. And I say retire in quotations because it's not really a retirement, it's more like taking a year off and forcing a trade. Now, obviously, with his relationship with the Jones family, the Cowboys were pushed right into it. It's unlikely to happen. It would be amazing if it did because he is a very creative coach, but it's unlikely to happen. The New York Giants have found a new general manager, as Joe Schoen is the general manager. He was part of the Bills, so don't be surprised if he brings Brian Daboll with him, we will talk about the Bills in a few minutes. So don't be surprised if Brian Daboll gets the head coaching job for the New York Football Giants. The Panthers, as expected, and at this point were expected, to hire an offensive coordinator. Now, we all said, and according to what Jay Glazer said, I kicked a rock star offensive coordinator, is what he was saying. That would be the only way Matt Rule keeps his job. Well, I don't know if this is a rock star pick, as it's not. This is a guy that, frankly, didn't deserve an offensive coordinator job. I don't even see him get a quarterback job, and yet he got an offensive coordinator job. It's Ben McAdoo. Now, let's just go through the tail of the tape over the last few years, okay? Ben McAdoo was the offensive coordinator of the Giants. When Tom Coughlin was let go, Ben McAdoo became the head coach. First year worked really well. Second year was a disaster. He leaves. He gets fired. He's out of the NFL for about a year. He then shows up, becomes a Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback coach before Trevor Lawrence. He gets fired because the whole staff got fired. It didn't work. Then he goes to the Cowboys because he's friends with Mike McCarthy and became a consultant. A consultant basically meaning, let me just bounce ideas off you, which is what they did. He was, I guess, had experience enough that the Cowboys could think it if Kellen Moore left that he was going to have a chance to be the offensive coordinator. Me, I was like, please don't, please don't. Well, now he's Carolina's problem as their offensive coordinator. If I'm the Panthers, I'm outraged by this hire. To me, this doesn't make any sense. He wasn't good as the offensive play caller, in my opinion, for any place that he was at. It worked the first year, but after that, it never worked. To me, this doesn't make any sense, and to me, this is a fireable offense if you're Matt Rule. Derrick Henry was officially taken off the IR as he played against the Cincinnati Bengals with a plate in his foot. Normally how they do this, and it's not uncommon they do this, they'll put a plate in your foot to keep everything together, and then after the season they'll have another surgery where they take the plate out and make sure everything's healing as proper. Which it would have helped, but it didn't help for the Titans. Zadarius Smith, the Packers activated a lot of people, Zadarius Smith and Whitney Merciless. Now, Zadarius Smith, I think, is a really good player. He's a great pass rusher. Whitney Merciless is a good linebacker. Having them there definitely helps you. Just, it didn't have the right outcome. The Texans have completed their second interview with Josh McCown, the former quarterback. And according to what they said he was the favorite for the job. There's more people that are better off for the job. Trust me, there is. I guess because he's a quarterback, but like to me, and I want to specify, it's not second interview this year. It's second interview as in the last 2 years. Yeah, it was interviewed last year, interviewed this year. The Texans have cast a wide net because they also interviewed Hines Ward the week prior. So it makes no sense of what they're trying to do. The Ravens have parted ways with defensive coordinator Wink Martindale. In my opinion, Wink Martindale should not have been fired. He's a good defensive coordinator. He's aggressive. That's the difference. He was an aggressive defensive coordinator, but to me he should have a head coaching job somewhere in this league. The New England Patriots linebackers coach, inside linebackers coach is his actual title. Gerard Mayo is interviewing with the Raiders. Now, you heard what I wanted to say. The Raiders, to me, it's Rich Bisaccia's job. That's just my opinion. To me, he deserves it. And then NFL Network tried to say, well, he's the de facto defensive coordinator. No. He's the inside linebacker coach. He's a young coach. He's pretty good, but he's really young. It's just like the Eagles' defensive coordinator who's drawing interest. I'm like, yeah, but your defense for a majority of the year was bad. It was, for the majority of the year, was bad. How are you getting head coaching interviews? It makes no sense. To me, Gerard Mayo, I could see him going somewhere and being the defensive coordinator, but the head coach is a defensive-minded coach. I could see that. I just don't see him as a head coach, at least not yet, in the NFL.